Alrighty, folks. So, when was the first time you heard a hip hop or rap song? For me, it was Channel 95.5 here in Detroit. I'm like, there's got to be more to it than just what's playing on. And then on a Wait with Words podcast, I hear the word hoopty. Turns out Sir Mix-a-Lot did that. And then, of course, in the summer 2016 for autumn, I hear the show by Dougie Fresh. And I'm like, okay, let's get into some hip hop. Let's actually talk about it with Wild Style from 1981, when Wild Style captured the hardcore South Bronx scene with its pantheon of hip hop pioneers: Grandmaster Flash, the Cold Crush Bros, the Chief Rocker Busy Bee, and the Rocksteady Crew. Wild Style tells the story of Zorro, graffiti legend Lee Quinones, in his subway art romance with Ladybug, another physical graffiti legend Sandra Pink Cabrera. Fab Five Freddy stars as this smooth impresario fade, following the outlaw artist through the train yards to the clubs. Wild Styles climaxes at the massive outdoors jam, definitely the most famous hip hop party in history. And Billboard magazine says this is the number one hip hop movie of all time. 82 minutes, so it was actually 1983. Whatever. This is arguably the first, right here. And it is a truly legendary cult classic movie. Show this to modern day rap fans like, hey, this is where it all started. Pioneering b-boying, which is breakdancing. The female version is b-girling. Turntablism, MCing, and dual, and showing how graffiti is interconnected with everything. It's like saying, hey, we're going to show off our skills, and we're going to also show like what the, I guess, philosophy or ethos behind the graffiti is. It's a representation of who you are, what the symbolism is, and just a good declaration of just proving yourself with only limited material. In this case, a spray paint can. And yeah, this movie is it's the reasoning behind that, and has been sampled by the Beastie Boys and so many other groups out there, but sadly it's not that well known, which is really frustrating. So this is kind of a documentary, kind of a drama, I would say. Musical, of course. It is a musical. It's a documentary in the sense of, like, I guess, chronicling the rise, but without really interviews. It's just a gosh dang good movie, you know? So, yeah, it stars a guy named Shy Zorro who's got 1980s like hair. He's got a little pencil mustache and goes around tagging everywhere, making some really unique creations. But then he gets commissioned to design a piece for he designed commissioned a piece for a master party, and he refuses to go against it because when other groups are out there like actually doing, I guess, when it's like you get all these companies that were, what was it, they were paying to have like graffiti put up uh, legally. He said that it removed the soul and the independence of it, so he refuses to. After hearing all the stars and what the party represents, he's like, okay, I will do it, because it's like, it's, like I said, this is urban. This is 1982, 1983. What was that? South Bronx. So this was definitely the first coming out movie for rap and hip hop. The movie itself is phenomenal, but this 2013 DVD or something like that, 2007, has no subtitles. I'm sorry. When you have it with kind of greenish, very lousy 480p footage. There's a Blu-ray available, but because this is such a not that well known movie, it's kind of dampened the experience. I'm just like, I just don't like that. I just don't like lousy quality. I'm sorry. 480p is the lowest that I can go. Yes, as someone who watched YouTube videos in 320p in 2008. Sure. But yeah, don't let that detract you. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of the conflict that he has within himself, but this is like, it's not about George Lee Quinones, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's there a little bit, and we get to see his kind of there mystique of being shy Zorro to happen. But it's like I said, it's the beginning of a cultural movement that people would eventually get to know and use. I'm like, I have to say, yes, this is very good. Of course, there are musical performances. There's in the about 27 minutes, and there is some rapping going on, and eventually we get kind of like six separate people, like in a 3-on-3 fun rap battle going on. So it's interesting to see how it goes. Of course, you get all the artists. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, of course, famous for the legendary The Message. Listen to that song. It's still very highly relevant now today, people. Towards the end, when they're spitting and doing kind of like a would that be yeah, it's not a octet. It would be a hextet, something like that. So yeah, of course, the way how they're doing it with the vocal harmonies, with their voice, that is being the weapon used to one, create a fun time of like, hey, this is just good fun times right here, but we can also get serious if need be. Of course, please keep in mind that this was a full 8 years before NWA with their Straight Outta Compton album. So yeah, there's a lot of trains. For some reason, I think why the trains were being tagged was so that way they can get their name out there. Like, hey, I wonder who this person is, and have the mystique about them. So it's like, I guess also at the same time, it's like the trains, are always constantly moving, and they're always constantly moving. So I guess there's some symbolism there. The studio at the same time had some difficulty trying to get it, because they had to pay $25,000 3 months in advance to try and get a permission to tag and everything like that. And there's also raining, and it just caused a lot of delays and stuff like that. So ultimately, the production where that was pretty hampered. But at the same time, it led to the urbanization and stylization that this movie has fantastically. There's a scene where there's some thief or whatever, and he's like saying, "Hey, you have a use a prop. Here's a prop gun. Go ahead and use it in the movie." They insist on using a real gun, and you can tell that it's a real gosh darn gun. So that was interesting to see. Yeah, but like towards the end, when Raymond is designing the giant mural about what it's supposed to represent, it's like, yeah, this is the it's like you can actually take the time to see the characterization of what's going on, the motif, what it's meant to symbolize, and things like that. And when all the hip hop artists are up on stage, you could tell, I guess, it was actually a very climactic, big time party that was going on for everyone, and it's like, it feels like it's the perfect, great climax to this movie, because when he climbs the top and looks down, everyone like in his mural, his design, and all the partying and stuff going on, like, that is the perfect way how to end it. It's like all these people who like all these flavor of the month artists and stuff like that. I'm like, you need to watch Heat Street. You need to watch Juice. You need to watch what was the one? Crush Groove. I mean, even not Disorderly, but definitely you need to watch the first movie right here. This one. So it's like, outside of not having subtitles, always a deal breaker. And yeah, outside of that, and the quality not being that great, I cannot. Please, I really do recommend that you watch, just for the cultural relevancy of it. Watch Wild Style.